Welcome to the Bald Brad Show. Our lead story this morning is regarding Joe Biden breaking his promise, I know, shocker folks, about staying in Afghanistan before all Americans have been evacuated. And not just that, we have a detailed list of the machinery, the military-grade weapons and vehicles that he handed over to the Taliban. Folks, this is crazy stuff. This comes from our friends over at Fox News, and they title it, Biden Breaks Promise to Stay in Afghanistan Until Every American Evacuated. What a freaking liar, but this is what you get from a Democrat and a career politician. And it makes sense why Jen Psaki lies as well, because she's a mouthpiece for this heap of garbage right here. It says, President Biden appears to have broken his promise to stay in Afghanistan until every American is evacuated. Marine Corps General Kenneth F. McKenzie Jr. announced Monday evening that the last of the U.S. troops stationed at the airport had left, completing the military drawdown in the country, even though hundreds of Americans likely remain. McKenzie, commander of the U.S. Central Command, said some American citizens who wanted to leave Afghanistan remained in the country. Well, isn't that just lovely? Whatever happened to No Man Left Behind? Whatever happened to our fellow countrymen coming home like you promised, Joe? That just goes out the window quickly because you don't give a crap. And you know what's astonishing here is he put faith in the Taliban to sit there and take care of the country, you guys. The same people that flew 2 planes into the World Trade Center, as well as our Pentagon, as well as into a freaking middle of the field, because you got guys on Flight 93 that stood up against these Taliban idiots and terrorists. And now they're going door to door executing people. The Taliban, again, is going door to door executing people now that the Americans are gone. Here's a little bit of what that sounds like. You know, forgive me that I'm so frustrated and pissed off, but I'm tired of having this guy in office. He needs to resign. As you notice, nobody's been fired right now. Not a single person from the State Department, not a single person from the Pentagon, not a single person from the Biden administration. Hell, Biden came out and said, look, they gave me wrong intel. They said this wouldn't happen. Well, if that's the case and it created this kind of shitstorm, somebody needs to be out. If it ain't going to be you, Joe, it needs to be somebody else, because this is ridiculous. People are freaking being murdered now because you wanted to put faith in these freaking terrorists. What an idiot. It is so frustrating. And you know what's sad too is you had that mother of a U.S. slain Marine, the one that was blown up, or one of the 13 that were blown up the other day, last Thursday, calling to a radio show complaining about Biden's handling, and she's right in doing so. She was speaking from the heart, and she was speaking how we all felt.
My son was one of the Marines that died yesterday. 20 years and 6 months old, getting ready to come home from freaking Jordan to be with his wife to watch the birth of his son. And that feckless, dementia-ridden piece of crap just sent my son to die. So my son is gone. And I just want all you Democrats who cheated in the election or who voted for him legitimately, you just killed my son.
You think Joe Biden cares about all of this? You think Joe Biden cares about this phone conversation? I don't think so. And I don't think he's cognitively aware of actually what's going on. I don't think he's actually able to make assimilations now to his decision making and to the crap storm he's created. Because, I mean, he's putting all the blame on Trump, but it seems like he doesn't really care because he's not answering any questions. He's not being detailed. His questions are vetted. So I don't think this guy has a clue on anything that's actually happening. And I think he might actually forget what's going on, right? Day to day or every few days, forget that we actually were in Afghanistan, or that, you know, maybe create a plan, or maybe there was a plan somewhat and that he forgot. Granted, I don't think there was a plan in the first place, right? It shows that he's just shooting from the hip. But we'll get into that in a moment. This said, President Biden told ABC News George Stephanopoulos during an interview on August 18th, not that long ago, that the U.S. military's objective in Afghanistan was to get everyone out, including Americans and Afghan allies and their families. That's what we're going to do now. That's the path we're on. Don't you see, man? Come on, man. And that I will get there, he said. If there are American citizens left, we're going to stay and get them all out. You're a liar, Joe. You're a liar, and you've been doing it for over 30 freaking years while you were a senator, while you were in the freaking Congress, and now you're sitting as commander-in-chief, and you're lying to the American people. You're lying to the Americans, the Afghans, as well as our allies and their families about getting them out, and now they're all being murdered because you want to be a senile old man and not get your shit together. Frustrating. I'm trying to keep it together on the show, but man, it makes y'all hot, right? It makes you frustrated because you got an idiot here that 81 million people voted for. Where are all they now? I've never heard 81 million people so quiet. We had to hear them bitch and complain for 4 years, day in and day out, about an orange bad man bad. He's racist, sexist, bigot, homo, his mean old tweets. And now you got an idiot now in office that's actually doing bad things policy-wise, and they're all quiet. Where are your friends? Where are my friends that are Democrats? Where are the leftists all out on social media, Facebook, Twitter? All these accounts are all freaking quiet. Where's Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, ARC, Ilhan Omar? Where are all of them on the TV screen saying, this is bad, this is real bad, we need to come together and work with the president on figuring out a plan to help people get out of the country. Screw the Taliban. We're not on their time. We have the most powerful military in the world, and we're sitting there going with a bunch of freaking idiots that don't even know how to work a robot or aerobics equipment.
Da Kandahar airport aan volk. Airport namni komandani. Academy headquarter Razakna.
Stop!
Have you seen that video? They don't know how to fly a freaking chopper. And we're going to sit there and go on these guys' time that probably worked with ISIS to blow up a bunch of Marines? God, we got a bunch of idiots running this country, and I'm so tired of it. The official put the number of Americans at below 250, adding that some additional Americans have departed Afghanistan in recent hours. The official added that the State Department was also committed to evacuating those who worked with us, referring to Afghan partners. Well, that worked out so well, didn't it, Joe? You and your whole State Department, the Pentagon, are a bunch of idiots. Somebody, again, needs to be fired over this. Well, not just that, not just about lying, but Joe Biden handed over military-grade weapons, military vehicles, such as Hummers, as well as different sorts of helicopters and aircraft. Check this out. This is astonishing. Here's a graphic of what this looks like. He gave them over 22,000 Humvees. I'm only going to go over a little bit, but if you're watching this, look at this graphic. 42,000 pickup trucks and SUVs, 64,000 machine guns, 8,000 trucks, over 162,000 radios, over 16,000 night vision goggles and devices, over 358,000 assault rifles like M16s, over 126,000 pistols, over 175 freaking artillery pieces. They got artillery grade stuff. Oh my God, this guy is so bad at his job. 33 Blackhawks amidst other helicopters. They have 4 C-130 transport aircraft, folks, amidst the freaking other aircraft as well. So this is even all the list, by the way. This is not everything they got. Remember, we're missing the biometrics. We're missing other vehicles that aren't listed here. So this is not everything that Joe Biden just handed to the Taliban, a terrorist organization that just blew up and killed thousands of people all but 20 years ago. I know we're quick to forget, but this guy sits here and wants to equip them with all this stuff. Where was the plan, Joe? You would think that somebody would sit down and work with the Pentagon to create a plan ahead of time that goes, hey, you know what? Let's first create a perimeter around the airport with military personnel. Let's focus on vetting some people and making sure we get our Americans and our allies and the Afghans out that we promised. Once we have that, then we can sit there and dwindle down our machinery here and export that, get that out of the country because the taxpayers paid for that. And then after that, then we could pull out our troops. How about that being a plan, Joe? Was that freaking hard? I'm not even running the country, and I feel like that was pretty damn simple. But again, because you have a senile old man that can't sit there and stay awake for 5 minutes, just like we all saw him freaking having a little nap time with the Prime Minister of Israel.
Yet another chapter in the beautiful story of the friendship between our two nations, the United States of America and the Jewish and democratic state of Israel. Both of us who seek to do good and need to be strong. Both of us who are...
And checking his watch while freaking Marines, dead Marines are being carried off a freaking aircraft. You're sitting there checking your watch, Joe, because that's the right thing to do. But again, when you're not all there in the head, you don't realize the optics of everything. You forget things, which is why he's checking his time, because he probably forgot that he had his nap time and forgot to take his freaking pill. I keep going for hours. I don't like making fun of people, but when this type of stuff happens, I can't help but point and make fun of freaking Joe Biden. I can't help it. But with that being said, folks, we have a senile old man in office there ruining not just our country, but another country as well. But this is what happens when Democrats are elected in office. And by the way, 2022 is coming up. If Republicans don't regain the Senate and the House, we need to start thinking about different politicians that we're electing to put in office here. As Republicans and conservatives, we need to start thinking that way because they all need to be out. If they're going to sit there and lose in 2022 when Joe Biden and Democrats are handing us this whole election on a silver platter, not just in 2022, but things aren't going to get worse, or excuse me, get better in 3 years here. They're also handing us 2024. If we don't regain all three branches of the government, there's a lot of conversation to be had about where the Republican Party's at, and maybe if we need to split and create a new party here. That's a discussion for a later time here, but hey, you know what? Hopefully I could bring you all some good news tomorrow here, but I don't know. When you have Joe Biden in office, it's tough to find that good news. Hopefully I can find it for all of you. With that being said, I hope all of you are doing well. I hope all of you are having a lovely week. Make sure you like and subscribe to this video. Share it with your friends and family all over social media. Leave me a comment down below. And folks, I will see you tomorrow here on The Bald Brad Show.